Hey everybody, happy Veterans Day. It's Andy, and today I'm going to read a tidbit from my newest series by K.M. Fox, Survive the Dark. Ooh, the light's in the way, look at that. Da-da-da, da-da-da. There we go. Usually I put up a picture on the side here. Maybe I will, when you hear the tidbit. It's a short bit I'm going to do for you. I just want to share with you what I'm working on right now. Sacrifice by Rich Baker should be coming out at any time. I'm hoping this week late. The actual ebook comes out on the 15th, and the audiobook might hit at the same time, so that'd be cool. So this book is a different one, and just for fun, I'm going to use a different mic, another great mic. I have two mics here. I have the TLM49, which I usually use, and it's a nice mic. It's a very good nice mic. But then I have the MKH, the Sennheiser 416, which also is a nice mic. It sounds really nice. So I'm going to use that one because I like how it sounds. This is the one I'm talking through now. It's got a smooth sound to it. It's really nice. So I'm just going to do like a couple of paragraphs just to get you into the mindset of what this book is about. It's a sort of end of the world type thing, which I love. But here we go. And let's see here. Where are we? Here we go. It's how it started. It had all started in such a promising manner. The foremost lab in the U.S. had announced a breakthrough new technology, nanobots in injection form. A shot that could cure you of anything. Anything. Heart disease, cancer, diabetes, a predilection for Alzheimer's, or a tendency toward obesity. You name it. The nanobots would rid you of all your ills. Science had never been Garrett's thing, but he'd always pictured it a million... Blah, blah, blah. Science had never been Garrett's thing, but he'd always pictured it as a I keep saying... Science had never been Garrett's thing, but he'd always pictured it as millions of little soldiers going into the bloodstream and getting to work on whatever needed fixing. Maybe soldiers who were crossed with construction workers. And the amazing thing was that it had worked. Thousands of society's richest had jumped at the chance, despite its hefty price tag, and rushed to their doctors for the injections. And they'd started healing. Their diseases had been reversed. Their age spots had disappeared. Their lines and wrinkles and gray hair, all gone. They'd not only healed, but seemingly stopped aging, as if those little bots were actually giving them the secret of life. Society at large had been agog, and then they'd started celebrating. The fountain of youth found. And all it took was taking that leap of faith and allowing your doctor to inject you with robots. The more squeamish had raised their hands and pointed out how wrong it all was, but for the most part, people had saved it. Hate when you roll and then you root them. The more squeamish had raised their hands and pointed out how wrong it all was. But for the most part, people had started saving their pennies, trying desperately to come up with the $100,000 it cost to have the procedure. People had sold everything, mortgaged their homes, borrowed up to their credit limits. It had seemed like the sky was the limit. Finally, immortality was at humanity's fingertips. And then, that winter, the deaths had started. Garrett closed his eyes and gulped, remembering the pictures that had started flooding into the media soon after. No normal deaths, these. No graceful sliding off into the darkness as you slept. No. These people's lungs gave out on them, their blood vessels exploding until they were drowning in their own blood. Garrett couldn't imagine it. He didn't want to imagine it. Yes, he'd gone to military school, but he'd never joined the military itself, and there was a good reason for that. He'd never been in love with the idea of death. Never been fearless in the face of danger. Never been brave enough to face the Grim Reaper down. That sort of death, that sort of suffering, was more than he could imagine experiencing. Then things got worse. People who hadn't had the injections started dying too. It had been bad enough when it seemed as though the injections, those miraculous soldier nanobots, hadn't been what they appeared. But it hadn't made any sense that people outside of the test subjects were dying as well. These other people had never had those shots, and yet they were dying the same horrible, helpless way. The same way the doctors didn't understand, and the hospitals couldn't stop. It had spread so quickly. It had seemed unstoppable. That's where I'll stop. It's unstoppable. I'm stopping. So, anyway, that's what I'm working on. Look for this hopefully at the early part of December. I hope to get this done within a week or so. It's about a 5-hour book. A nice, good-sized read. So look for it at the end of November, very early December. And that's it. Just wanted to update you. Again, to all my Marine brothers and sisters out there, Semper Fi. To all the other veterans out there, appreciate your service. And I hope your holiday today is a good one, and I hope the end of the year is a nice time of year for you, the holiday season. Take care. Thanks for watching, and adios, amigos.